to get to breaking news.
Oh, go.
No, Barbara Starr is covering a big issue. It's the Don't Ask, Don't Tell. We've been waiting for this, Barbara. A survey, I guess, from the military itself on all the details surrounding whether or not this should or should not be implemented, et cetera, et cetera. Why don't you just fill us in from the Pentagon?
Yeah, Drew, a big step forward today. Earlier today, the Pentagon began sending out a Don't Ask, Don't Tell questionnaire survey to 400,000 troops around the world, 200,000 active duty, 200,000 reserve. More than 100 questions in this survey to those troops, asking them very pointed, very direct questions about how they would feel if the ban, the Don't Ask, Don't Tell ban on openly serving in the military, if you are gay or lesbian, if that is repealed by Congress, how will the troops feel about it? We'd expected this survey. It was a long time coming. We've now got a much clearer understanding of some of the questions being asked to the 400,000 troops. The questions include basic questions such as, if there are gay or lesbian people openly serving in the U.S. military, what would be the impact on unit morale or readiness, especially if you had a commander that you believed was gay or lesbian? The troops have to answer. What do they think about that? Other questions, if you have to share a room, a bathroom, open bay showers in a war zone with other service members that are openly gay or lesbian, very different than today because it's not allowed to be open. What would you feel about that? How would you handle it? What would you do? And would the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell basically affect the military so much that you would no longer be willing to serve? These are some of the 100 questions at this hour going out to troops around the world. They will fill out the questionnaire. It will come back to the Pentagon. The Joint Chiefs of Staff will look at the results. And this is what they've been waiting for, Drew. They want to see the impact on the troops. President Obama says he wants the law repealed. This is not about how they feel about repealing it. They don't get a vote in repealing it, but they are going to say how they feel about it. And this is going to, if you will, inform the Joint Chiefs, and as they give the president their best advice about how this could all shake out. Drew?
Barbara, I'm going to try to sound, well, not too snarky, but why do they care? These Joint Chiefs, these guys are paid to make decisions. Why are they sending out this public relations survey asking whoever wants to respond to this and supposedly going to use that to make a decision on this?
No, you're right. It's a terrific question because I think there is a lot of confusion about it. Because we all know in the military, once the commander-in-chief gives an order, salute smartly and carry on. That's the way life goes when you're in the military. You don't really get a vote about what orders you want to follow and what orders you don't. But this is part of, if you will, the very delicate political compromise that's been fashioned over the last several months. The president says he wants the law repealed. Congress is looking at it. Many oppose it. Many are in favor of it. We don't really know how any vote would sort out. So they have gone out to the troops to say, okay, tell us what you think. Not whether you're in favor of it or not, because the policy the president wants is a repealed policy. But tell us what the impact would be. Because what they need to determine, Drew, is, if you will, if so many troops are opposed, what happens if the majority of those surveyed say, hey, I just don't feel I can deal with this, I'm going to vote with my feet and leave? Nobody really thinks that's going to happen, but what if that did? Then what does President Obama do? So this will be the first really statistically significant survey of the force about what they think what their lives will be like in the war zone if they serve with openly gay and lesbian people. Some very delicate questions in this survey. Would you use a shower facility in an open bay area if you thought there were service members in there that are gay and lesbian? What would be the standards of conduct? How would you handle it? Would you talk to them about it? Would you talk to a chaplain? Would you just carry on your life in the U.S. military as you already do day to day? These are the kinds of questions they want answers to.
All right. Let me ask a more refined question. They're sending out surveys, and so the recipients have to send them back in. So is this indeed a scientifically random survey, or are we setting ourselves up for a return of the passionate one way or another that potentially is going to be used by political sides one way or another? In other words, is everybody compelled to send the survey back? How are they going to keep track of that?
Well, that's a really good question, you know, because what we're not getting a lot of details. What we know is it's going out via email, and the service member will click on some email link and respond in what we are assured is a confidential manner. There is a firm, a research firm that is doing this work for the Pentagon that says they can keep it confidential and that this population of about 400,000 is statistically valid and statistically significant. Are people going to use it if the survey results are made public to their own point of view? I think you know, absolutely they will. But I have to tell you, even today, as we know that, I'm looking at the clock, in the last 2.5 hours, this survey has begun to be distributed. The Pentagon is not officially commenting, not even officially telling us what's in the survey, because they say there's a lot of concern that it might, if you will, corrupt the confidentiality and the statistical validness of the survey. It is so sensitive inside the Pentagon right now, they won't even publicly acknowledge that that's what's happened in the last 2.5 hours. We can assure you from multiple sources that is exactly what's going on.
All right, Barbara Starr at the Pentagon. Barbara, I apologize. I'm married to a market researcher, so this statistics are everything, samples are everything in her.
I'm going to talk to her and get her to explain it to me.
I'm not so sure about the scientific validity of this whole thing, but thank you for explaining that whole thing. Wow, what a survey that's going to be. Well.